So welcome to all of the delegates to the last day of the official conference. So it's great to see you here tonight, and for those that were there, thank you for those there at the dinner last night. I'm sure you're probably feeling tired and emotional this morning, and I'm glad you've got your coffee. I have. You obeyed your instructions, which was to do a lot of dancing and have a great time, and I think we fulfilled that criteria well. So congratulations there. He said, wouldn't it be great if there was a grassroots community mediation? And people would talk. He said, people are, they're probably not really likely to do a paper. But apparently, yes, they have. They've made the biggest paper a conference has ever seen, if you look in the middle of the floor here.
Thank you, Ipe. My name is Kurt Noble. Cairns is my hometown, but I've worked over a wide range of areas around Australia, and my involvement with conflict resolution just generally, but mediation specifically, goes back a lot of years, right to the glory days when it all hit the ground and everybody was game enough to have a go at almost anything, including native title and everything else that came along. Neighbours, dogs barking and everything. But I've specialised over the years. My main interest has always been our own communities, Aboriginal communities. And when you hear the presentations here, they're going to touch on why. Okay, why that is so important, but also what they're doing as well. So I believe the presentation, I'm going to hand it straight over now. We'll go over to the two ladies, Helen and Nelson first, followed by the two ladies from Centralia. Okay, and then you can start thinking about what these dots here mean to you, because everything is symbolic, okay, including the way you're sitting. There's symbolism in our culture in a whole range of different things, protocols, rules, things like that. But the only thing that I will point out with the painting is there is something missing there. Think about that. And that'll be explained as we go along. Rightio, so Helen and Nelson, I'll hand it over to you.
I remember when I was a kid, I used to do silly things. My father or my brother used to give me belt, give me a big fight, a big belting. And now this year, we don't touch young people. It's by the law from the government. Now we got this program, and it's helping me very well with my own people. I got a skin group in my country. Skin group is a key for our community. That means like we get a balance. My skin is from sun, some from mallat, some from pandamis, some from rock. But we got a balance there. When young people from mallat run amok, I go up and talk to the leader of mallat. Then they go there and they sort the problem. And sometimes it takes hard to settle down, but we got to push, talk to the young one, because it's not good. Sometimes we go out on the beach, where the quiet place, so we don't want people to go past and be the gossip, listening. What they talking about. We don't want that. We go to the quiet place, sit there, and then we sort them out with the problem, with the young one. And we talk to them. Well, pukumani means like someone passed away, and we don't call that name. That's a pukumani. Yes.
But when that ceremony for pukumani happens, it means what? All
for the whole tribe, and we got a skin group. We got a sun, we got a rock, we got a mallat, we got a pandamis, and that works.
Yeah, but when the nature of the skin groups means that one person can't talk to another person or eat with them or sit with them or marry them.
Yes.
So it's a relationship system. That's what I was asking. But for Pukamani, when you're saying it's all finished,
Yes.
it's a ceremony that celebrates the life of someone who passed away, but also Pukamani means finished, no more arguing, everything is
Mean ponky.
ponky,
Ponky. Mean finish.
finish.
Yes. So that's my idea. I said, we call ourselves Ponky Mediator. And everyone back at my community, they will understand and aware that we are Ponky Mediator.
And your Pukamani poles that you
Yes,
painted, what's that mean, that symbol?
That's a symmetry pole that represents our tribe, for skin group. And that when that symmetry pole bending down, we know there's a conflict. There's a problem we got in the community. I'm telling to my youngest generation coming up, I said, we gotta build that symmetry pole and stand it up straight. And when we stand that symmetry pole up straight, that means we got no conflict, we got no problem. We share, we go hunting, we share with the family. That's what we should do. But we're still fighting for the young one, telling them what is wrong, what is right. And sometimes we go to school because we talk to our young ones and we have a respect each other. That's what we say to the young ones in school. Respect each other and use the culture, not allowed like, fighting with him or fighting with her. They should relation. They should tribe.
Okay, thank you. Now, there may be some questions that come up there, and a few things I just want to touch on and get you thinking about is the whole issue about the many problems, and I think these ladies are going to get you to start identifying what you know of, the problems that exist in our communities amongst our own people, Aboriginal people. And it's all exacerbated by things like remoteness and that they were often set up as artificial communities, missions, things like that, right through the whole country. And all the areas where these people live here now, there's a combination, there's family settings, there's communities. But how do you address those things? It's always been the big dilemma for governments, rolling out programs, deciding what is the best approach, what should be the priorities. And we've seen recently one of the priorities of the federal government in Queensland and then in the Northern Territory about managing alcohol control, managing people's income, things like that. Sort of like desperation. What can we do? Because the reality is that there are real problems there, terrible problems around a whole range of things. I'm not going to mention what they are. I'm hoping that you'll bring those to part of the dot painting here. I think, Sharon, you're going to do that, identify what are the problems that we live with and work with in our daily days. Where we're all stumped is the answers. How do you actually make positive changes? And who makes them? Do they come from outside? Do they come from government? Is there a role for all of these agencies to play? Services? How much can be done within the community? So hopefully what you'll pick up as you're listening to this here is what people are doing in their own communities, and often with very little resources except the people on the ground, okay? But the will to do something. And it doesn't mean that everything's perfect and has solved all the problems, but they can certainly talk about changes that have been made because of it, positive changes. Okay. Helen.
Even while we're in the 21st century, Tiwi are still practicing culture and ceremony, but that conflict resolution ceremony hasn't happened for a long time. And it's a very serious ceremony. So in place of that, they've evolved their own methods, and it's really strongly driven by relationships. If you don't have relationships, you are not Tiwi. That'd be right,
That's true, yeah.
So that part of the skin groups makes the Ponky mediators really essential, because they know which skin group can talk to which skin group. They know who the mediator is who can help to make communication and relationships build and the communication occur. I could fly over there, but I don't know. I could be sitting two people in the wrong way relationship. So that's what makes this all the more pertinent, because Nelson, Teresita, Barry, Regina, all the people who do mediation know who the skin groups are, know who is who's allowed to sit with whom, who's allowed to be or is the best mediator for the matter at hand. So they understand their own cultural needs. Now, I'm not saying they all replicated across Australia. Every community has a different cultural way of operating, and I'm sure that even with Maureen and Sharon, they will tell you about their relationship issues as well. But it's really important to understand they're not just mediators. They specialise in a framework that's related to that community, that they can't have access to the mainstream mediator, because the mainstream mediator won't have a clue. I don't have a clue, and I go over there all the time. Hey.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about what you see in front of you. It's a dot painting. When you come up to the territory, you will see a lot of Aboriginal paintings that represent our symbols, our stories, our ties to our country, who we are as Aboriginal people, and what clan group and that we belong to. Now, has anyone worked out what's missing in the centre yet? Because you've got people in the community sitting around, stakeholders who come to visit. We often have a lot of people who help. We do a lot of community mediation work. We work in with a lot of people. We have elders in our community who are recognised mediators. And again, what Nelson said before, we have the skin groups. And they sort of govern how we do the mediation, and young people respect, and they're learning. So what you will see today, when Sharon and I are talking, we've got our son here, Imran. He's got a responsibility, so he's going to fill that gap very shortly with something. So I'll just hand you over to Sharon. And
Before you go, can I just touch on something about that gap? Hey, our people have been frustrated for a long time too, because our communities had a gap, a vacuum created by the control that was exercised from outside. One of the first things they did was actually took away our internal control measures, disempowered our elders. Our elders couldn't compete with the mission manager or the policeman or the government department representative, who was now responsible for managing that community or those people. So the disempowerment of our people, okay, it was always a frustration, not only to our elders, but it sort of took their role away, disempowered them. And yes, when your internal controls are gone in a community, you do party, you do run wild, you do get out of hand. We've seen that, okay. It looks different when you're looking in from the outside, but and that's the main message we want to make, because these people here are part of the dots there, from inside. They're not looking in from the outside. Okay. More about the vacuum there as we go along. Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah, I just want to add a little bit more, because in my community we deal with everyday problems, drunks, people fighting, you know, and most of our young ones go up drinking and, you know, take all the monies for kids' money, you know, and that's really sad. And but we there to help. We got a law and justice center, and we can talk to those people if they have problems. Yeah.
And you got your own elders and
Yeah, we got
and
our
people in our
elders,
community.
and they're really strong, you know, about keeping our identity strong, our culture strong, and respect our whole people, you know. Yeah, that's the most important thing. It comes through all kin system. We got kin system in place. We know who we are related to. You know, and you know, our identity is a land that we belong to.
That's good. Okay.
You fellas heard of closing the gap?
Oh, you're right.
Everybody wants to close the gap, okay? For us, to us, okay? Tell us how to do it. Give us a new program. Different approach here. Okay. Back to Sharon, because what Sharon is talking about is something that we're seeing in a lot of Aboriginal communities right across this country now. It's happened in Queensland, and I've seen some fantastic results. Now, the trick is not to think about this just in terms of mediation, but mediation actually becomes a focal point for a lot of other positive developments within communities. Because once you start reinstating responsible and respectable roles for elders, and everybody's a bit sus in their own community, you know, they don't think this is going to work. But the more they actually see the elders and the justice groups, because not only elders, but elders have side by side with them people like Sharon, who are coming up, younger people as well. I know there's a young fella in your group, isn't there? Even younger than, well, he's the youngest in the group. But he's taken on that responsibility, you see. And he's walking the walk, not just criticising other people, setting an example, living as an example as well. But learning from the elders and being guided by the elders in the cultural and the traditional ways, rather than, you know, just, oh, let's make it up as we go. So they've reverted back to, okay, what are our traditional processes here? Because in there, that worked. Okay. Very quickly, quick question. What's the main panic that most people have when we talk about traditional ways for managing conflict, especially punishment? Yes. Yeah. It's funny, the whole world's mind goes to, oh, Aboriginal people just spear people. But that was part of a ceremony, you see, a process, protocols, all of those sort of things. It was ceremony. You can actually maintain and keep ceremony alive with the values and the principles without drawing the blood. Okay? Because heaven help you if you stick a spear in somebody nowadays, you go and do time. Okay. Righty, I'll pass it over to Sharon.
Yeah, in the middle, that's the Kuriji, we call it a shield. And for many years, my ancestors, the Walpi Nation, abused this in the conflict when people were fighting and fighting each other, and sometimes they would hold that shield to protect themselves from rains or spears. And Kuriji, the shield, is the way of making peace in our community. Yeah, we set up that Kuriji office in my community, and the old people, you know, through this government, had no power. They had no power, and most of our mob, the young men, were getting locked up in jails. And people just fighting in the community. But the elders came up with the idea to set up that Kuriji again, the Law and Justice Group, to deal with our own issues in the community. And we got Kuriji office now, and when there's a problem in the community, the elders get together. We talk to the both parties when people are fighting. We're there in the middle to sort out the problems. And yeah, and sometimes we have people coming into the office. We sit down and talk with them. If we got two clan groups, Wanayaka and Ngalia tribe. I'm Wanayaka. And if that person is a Ngalia tribe, I'm not allowed to talk to that person. Only that person from her clan can talk to that person, whoever's fighting, you know? That's how it works in the community. And yeah, and we got a law, whole law that says in skin system rules, Makonda Wango and Makonda. I can't fight with my sister-in-law or my son-in-law. That's the law in our culture. Or I'm not allowed to fight with my other sisters or brother from other clan group. And we are teaching this to the whole to the kids in the community.
Well, one of the things that I heard when I was down there, and Sharon mentioned this as well, was that everybody expects that the young children, because everybody's still talking language and, you know, like and trying to maintain culture and everything like that, they assume that the young children have been told by somebody what the laws are about their relationships and respect, and how they should be talking and treating each other, and the avoidance and everything that goes with it. And then they get really upset when the children actually break all the rules. Okay, and Sharon was talking about one of the old fellas sat down and he spoke to the young people there about that relationship rule along the skin lines and your proper protocol and your behaviour towards people. And she said they were just fascinated. You could have heard a pin drop. They were just soaking it all in because they loved it and they hadn't heard it properly. And those sort of things just strengthen, you know, not only the confidence of the elders, but their status as well, and the respect for them. And then the next time they intervene and they say, stop, you can't do that. Instead of them saying, oh, yeah, you know, that sort of thing, they're more likely to actually just stop. Don't continue it on. Sort it out later. That sort of thing. Now, I'm going to let you fellas all ask questions and just comment about what your thoughts are here, because I've had some fantastic experiences with community-grown systems, okay. Some government departments and programs are trying to actually support that. And I know there's one on Mornington Island, and this fellow Phil here was involved as a project officer. But Kuriji goes back into the 1980s? 89 or 88?
80s.
1980s. And they've had, support has been in bits, you know, fits and starts. So funding, suddenly there's nothing. No coordinator, no resources. Suddenly get extra funding. They've had to shop around. But now they have a building, an office, a meeting place, and something that looks central in the community near the store. That is visually, you know, a focal point for people. They're the group who take care of problems in the community and conflict. Not competing with council, not competing with the police or anybody like that, or the courts. Hopefully working together if they can get those working relationships going. So it's more than just mediation. It is throwing back to the traditional ways of controlling.
It's about restoration of relationships, isn't it?
That's the idea of leaving the vacuum there and bringing the shield back in place. There's so many communities who are trying to do that. And in these communities here, the shield is the symbol. On other communities, they're using other things as symbols, maybe a staff, maybe a pole. Yeah, Nelson, you might mention that? Is it significant? Yep. He mentioned the poles before. That's the symbol that people can actually, you know, gravitate towards and understand the meaning. And just having symbols in your community, visual and real, because they know that's attached to expectations about behaviour, rules, all of those sort of things. Proper conduct, becoming a real man, growing up to be a real woman, not just the nuisance rubbish one, you know, with all the bad talk and everything. So it allows people, it's a symbol there that says, okay, I've got something to aim for. Now, the results with that, I will tell you from experience, but I'm not going to go into any great depth about it. I've seen changes within 2-3 years in a community, okay, from inside the community. None of this was influenced by outside. There was no managing people's incomes. There was no busing children to school, okay? There was no running around taking kids out of their homes because of domestic violence, because of this sort of strength that grows. My wish is that all of our communities have the opportunities and the support that these fellas here are trying to achieve something and struggling basically on their own. But they will get there, I'm sure of that. I'll mention that because I've heard politicians say it'll take another generation. Has anybody heard that? Politicians consistently say, I'm not going to name them, whether they're federal or state or territory, that the changes will happen in another generation. All we have to do is remove the children from that environment. Educate them. Get them to school. They've forgotten about the strength of this, the culture. Okay. And that's just a personal view. I might be totally wrong, but I've seen the results. Now, people, unfortunately, it's only the centre circle. If we had a larger circle, we'd fill the whole room. Okay.
Keep throwing. You gotta try and get a net. Get a net. Keep throwing.
Yep. Come on, let's see who's athletic. We need people to run. Yeah. Keep it going. Keep holding. Keep it going.
And while this is going on, you'll find on your
Everybody
seats,
on the inner circle needs to have a piece of string.
you'll find on your seats a circle. And the people here who've attended from far away, they want to take some messages of hope and peace back to their communities. If you could please grab one of those circles and write a little message so that we can take them back to community. Yeah? If you speak another language, even better, yeah? We want to know that these people can actually say we connect.
Yeah, make sure everybody's there. This is the fishnet. Keep it tight. Yep, everybody. Messages on the circles and then leave them on the drawing. On the drawing in the middle. Pass them in. Yeah, some of those string balls there are running out of steam. There's one over here on the ground, if we can pick that one up and toss him. Yep. Okay, just about everybody. Rightio. Everybody. The circle again. The circle is a very traditional thing amongst Aboriginal people right across this country. If you go to meetings, you know, you have we used to call them corroboree boras. I don't know what they call them in Central Australia. The big gatherings and everything. You'll notice the circles happen. The circles within circles. Our whole life, nothing is linear amongst Aboriginal people. You don't start here and go there in 5 easy steps. Okay? You've got to take in consideration of all those people, all those factors. Your thinking is in circles. Okay? That there is a focal point because that's your guide, your rules. Okay. The beautiful thing is it's starting to come back strong now. And fortunately, government policies and the ways and everything like that are not so restrictive and, you know, controlling as they used to be. And now we're finding more and more of our people are believing that you can be strong in both cultures. You can carry your traditional values and everything. You don't have to trade one off on the other. Remembering that the old days, the big effort was made for assimilation. You had to chuck away your language, your dance, your song, your rules. You had to chuck away that shield so that you could survive. Now we know you can do both. Okay. And everyone's welcome to be part of that, and that's what this linkage is about the net. Okay, everybody is a part of that. So thank you very much. Those people who haven't got a piece of string there, you'll have to just symbolically do it through somebody else. Pass in the messages, and thank you very much. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, we got the net. We got the people now.
Kaya ba another more kingong?
Kalamara.
Yêu anh là cho ngột chứ. Everyone, good.